Hence yet another bill headed by a European Championship bout.
Good evening from Mansfield. Big-time boxing comes to the town for the first time ever tonight in the shape of a European title fight. Johnny Nelson of Sheffield defends the crown he won by stopping Marcus Bott before Christmas against Yves Monsieur of Belgium. Nelson, on a good night, is world-class. Remember him? We saw him on Screen Sport defending his British title against Lou Gent at the York Hall in Bethnal Green. Nelson, of course, in white. Watch for the left hook. Johnny Nelson on his way to an outright Lonsdale belt. Tonight, European honours beckon for the Brendan Ingle fighter. And welcome back to Mansfield, and a huge round of applause because preceding your arrival back, Harold Bomber Graham got up into the ring to take a well-deserved round of applause. Well then, a quick taster while we wait for the main event. Next week, light welterweight Commonwealth title up for grabs. Tony McKenzie of Leicester against the splendidly named King Zaka of Zimbabwe. 8 o'clock. Barry McGuigan will be back with me for that one. And Mickey Hughes against Miguel de Leon. Well, I'm not sure whether that's light welter or welter. And Mickey Hughes, well, who knows? Maybe he's dropped down a weight. Do you know anything about that? Jim? Mickey Hughes?
No, I think it's just a misprint on the screen. Mickey Hughes has been a welterweight since he was 13 years old, and I'm sure he hasn't changed in the last couple of weeks.
I thought so. Well, it's a welterweight contest. Mickey Hughes back at the York Hall, and we do hear rumours that Mickey Hughes could be in line for all sorts of exciting things, but he's got to win at the York Hall in a couple of weeks first. Well, so to the main event of the evening, Johnny Nelson against Yves Monsieur from Belgium. Johnny Nelson, of course, won the title just before Christmas with a 12th round knockout in Hamburg against the German. And former champion Marcus Bott. Now, as always, challenge your first man into the ring, Yves Monsieur. And in he comes. Has gone the full trip with Massimiliano Duran, which is no bad achievement. And but has been stopped by, and has also stopped Jose Seis, who those of you with long memories will remember was the first man ever to beat Errol Christie. And a nice round of applause for Monsieur.
You know, he's coming in the ring shaking hands and smiling, but if he wants to win this style, he's going to have to butt on the gum shield and rip into Johnny Nelson, because being a nice guy ain't going to win him no titles.
For reasons I guess best known to him, I'm looking at Monsieur right above me as we watch Johnny Nelson come in. He's wearing a pair of Tottenham Hotspur football socks. Not sure whether he's a big supporter or whether he just picked them up at a local sports shop here in Mansfield today. I suppose Spurs must have some fans in Belgium.
After Johnny having won the title abroad, I'm sure he's looking forward to defending in front of his own folklore tonight. He was out here earlier in the ring in his tracksuit shadowboxing and smiling to everyone. He's a character.
So here he comes, the European cruiserweight champion, undefeated former British champion. Here's Alan Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please be upstanding for both national anthems? And now the British national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, promoted by Matchroom and sponsored by Mansfield District Council and British Coal, we are proud to present the main attraction of the evening, a cruiserweight contest over 12 rounds, each of 3 minutes duration, for the Cruiserweight Championship of Europe. Your judges for this evening are Jose Jensen of Denmark and Alma Krief of France. Your supervisor is Angel Guzman of Spain. Your timekeeper for the contest is Jack Goodman of Stoke-on-Trent, and your referee is George Grabatz of Germany. Introducing and presenting to you in the red corner with the blue and the yellow shorts, the reigning Benelux and Belgium Cruiserweight champion and title challenger from Brussels, Yves Monsieur. And his opponent in the blue corner with the white shorts, the reigning Cruiserweight champion of Europe, in defence of his title from Sheffield, Johnny Nelson!
And how nice to hear, and what a credit to the people of Mansfield, the Belgian national anthem applauded, and Monsieur getting a good hand as well.
Pounds, Johnny Nelson, 13 stone, 7 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
5 pounds in it to Nelson's advantage. 13-2 Monsieur, 13-7 Nelson. George Grabatz of Germany, the man in charge. Judges from Denmark and France. All three will score. Remember the EBU scoring system, 10 points for a win, 9 for the loser of a round, 8 if there's a knockdown. 12 rounds for the Cruiserweight Championship of Europe. Nelson in the white.
As ever, the very, very relaxed posture, or pose, or stance, whatever you wish to call it, of Johnny Nelson. Tremendously relaxed fella, in and out of the ring.
Well, Nelson, as much as I admire him, I've got to say, one of the most infuriating characters in the ring, because when he's on form, he can be star-class, world-rated, but when he's slightly off form, he can look absolutely awful. Let's hope it's the former tonight, because he's got talent oozing out of his bootlaces. He really has.
Now, it can be a very frustrating man to fight Johnny Nelson. He's always kidding and fainting and all the moves, tremendous reflexes, a little bit of arrogance as well. they can back it up. He threw more punches in this opening session than he did in 12 when he fought for the world title.
That's right. I've got to say, looking at both men side by side, Monsieur looks at a full division lighter than Johnny Nelson.
Yeah, Johnny's tremendous build for a cruiserweight, and who knows, long term he could be on the heavyweight soon. He's only a young man.
Well, Nelson can take you out with either hand. Real concentration.
Mr. Monsieur must be wondering just what he's got in front of him.
That's a very good question. I'm not even sure that I could tell him.
Well, you can never judge a book by its cover, but Monsieur doesn't look to me to have the power to really shake Johnny Nelson up. I think you have to try and get him on the back foot and try and do a few of the Carlos de Leons on him, basically, and force the fight and try and get home with some good shots. You'll never outbox Nelson. Scouting round from the both of them.
Not too many thrills and spills in the opening session. Nelson getting his range. I think you must drive Brendan to distraction sometime in fights. I know he did in the Sugar de Leon fight.
I think on that night no one's really come out and actually said it cold stone, so I think Johnny just completely froze. I think deep inside he probably wanted to go out and unload shots and do everything he knows he was meant to do. You know, he's a smart fellow, he's got good head on his shoulders, and you know, if he could just turn the clock back to that night, then I'm sure he would. But it's all part of learning the game, and through that experience I'm sure Johnny will be a better fighter, and the next time he fights for the World Championship, which I'm sure he will, please God, he'll wear the crown. But tonight is the most important thing on Johnny Nelson's mind, and defending his title against Yves Monsieur.
Round two, Nelson in white, Monsieur in blue. And I think Nelson has got a good 4 or 5 inches in height and reach over the challenger.
As Monsieur come back to his corner at the end of the opening round, there was a grimace on his face to his corner, as if to say, you know, what have I got here? And Nelson will get more confusing as the rounds roll by.
Well, you don't get European titles delivered to you gift wrapped. You've got to go out and win them. That's what Johnny Nelson did when he went to Germany, beat Marcus Budd, and that's what Yves Monsieur has got to do if he has any pretensions of winning this title. Oh, good right from Nelson. Turn the Belgian.
Nelson looks very sharp.
Nelson almost playing with his man at the moment. Almost the same disdain that we saw from Lennox Lewis against Gary Mason last week. The same arrogance, the same confidence. Monsieur had any doubts about how tough it was fighting for a European title? He knows now.
Nelson pecking away with a variety of shots. not really setting himself to land anything that's going to explode just yet, but I'm sure there'll be more of that to come as the rounds drift by. Really creating an illusion at the moment for Mr. Monsieur.
And referee Gravitt's just telling him to calm it down a little bit. Monsieur looking very apprehensive now. Nelson's round.
Yeah, very much so. That was a good round from Johnny Nelson. If the fellow wasn't demoralised in the first round, I'm sure he is now, because Johnny's caught him with some good shots in that round and just rolled in arrogance all the way through it and looks like the champion that he undoubtedly is.
Well, on the left, Johnny Nelson. On the right, Yves Monsieur. That's a face that's caught 1 or 2 shots in its time, I tell you. Brendan Ingle working. It's astonishing, as we never fail to remind you, Johnny Nelson lost his first 3 professional fights, but unbeaten now since February of 1988, when certain Dennis Bailey outpointed him over 8 rounds. That was the last of his 5 points defeats. That was the right hand that had the Belgian back on his heels.
I hate to be counterproductive, Dave, but I think his last point defeat was when he challenged the Leon. Well, that was a draw.
That was a draw, Jim.
Yeah, sorry, mate. That's as good as losing when you fight for a world title, isn't it?
True, true enough.
I'm sure Johnny Nelson will tell you that. He probably figures it as a defeat. That's an amazing example there of perseverance. You know, Nelson might have thought, oh, his first couple of fights, so I'll do something else for a living. But here he is, European champion, and bigger things to come.
Say, Monsieur looks a pretty limited fighter, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think he's going to struggle. To me, I know he's the challenger for the title and he's got to be a fair fighter to get to that standard. I think he, as early as his third round, looks out of his depth. He looks almost in awe of throwing a shot, and every time he does, Nelson counters very, very quickly. I'm sure Johnny's going to be looking to land some heavy bombs before long.
Well, Monsieur reckoning that his best way of getting any sort of result, keep things at close quarters, deny Nelson the space to throw those shots.
He certainly doesn't look, as I said earlier, to have the power to pull anything dramatic off with one shot.
I don't think so. That right again. Oh, crisp, short uppercut. With the greatest respect to Monsieur, he's limited in one pace and hurt.
He looks out of his class. He really does. Johnny Nelson's toying with him at the moment.
Nelson, I'm sure, could finish this any time he wants. Monsieur in the neutral corner.
No, he's completely demoralised. He must be feeling now that he'll have to wait another time before he can become European champion. Whilst Nelson's champion, I don't think his reign's going to begin. Certainly not tonight. And Johnny's now feels in his own mind that the guy can't hurt him. I'm sure he's going to start really displaying his skills and his full repertoire of shots and combinations on the unfortunate Mr. Monsieur.
Brendan Ingle squatting at ringside. Even he looks impressed by Nelson so far. And the punches coming in. Got caught himself there. But the punches coming in at bewildering speed from bewildering angles. But Monsieur did land one decent right-hand in that little flurry. Made Nelson blink, if nothing else.
Now, when you're so on top and a class above, really, it's very easy to become a little bit casual, as Johnny did there. You know, if Johnny Nelson doesn't want to get hit, he won't get hit. But, you know, he's trying to look impressive. He's trying to put the Leon fiasco behind him and come back with a good solid win, what everyone's going to talk about.
Some action from that third round. Watch for Johnny Nelson's left hip. Bang.
Short left hook, good counter shot. No answers to that one.
Well, if there was, the Belgian didn't have it. And he's looking a little bit discouraged now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's completely demoralised. I don't really know what his corner can actually tell him. He hasn't got the power to actually push Nelson back and try and dictate terms. Doesn't look to have the power to rough Johnny up and pull anything out with one out.
Well, at the moment, so far, just another day at the office for Johnny Nelson. And like I said in the last round, I'm sure he could finish this any time he wants.
I'm sure Johnny's saying to himself, put it in a bank. You know, he's a pro fighter. This is a night's work, like you say. Yeah, a little bit too casual in some respects, John. Just sort of a clipping left hook there. There's nothing great, but, you know, every shot's one too many.
And Brendan Ingle in the Nelson corner. And you can see him there. Tell you, jab, come on. Waving his man on.
Johnny's going to start unloading with the clusters as I expected. I feel he can basically do what he wants now. Standing in front of him in contempt.
Well, he's got Monsieur so bamboozled by the feints and the wiles that the Belgian hardly knows what to expect. He's covering up to punches that aren't being thrown, getting caught with punches that are being thrown. He's having a sorry night. And you almost feel that Nelson will be doing him a favour by knocking him out.
You know, Nelson's a tremendous specimen for a cruiserweight. Great physique. All the physical advantages, as you can see, height, reach, strength and power. And Yves Monsieur's obviously never met anyone quite in this class before.
Well, like I said, you know, it is on the plus side, going the distance with Massimiliano Duran, which is an excellent performance, so suggests a certain durability.
Yeah, it's good from Johnny Nelson's point of view now. He's got this obstacle, this opponent, this man whose durability's been proven. Johnny's got to find a way of getting him out of there and doing it, as we say, showbiz with blood, looking good doing it and showing that he's capable of finishing this class of fighter off in style. Now, Johnny's obviously thinking of bigger and better things in the future. He's got to get these fighters out of there. Puts pressure on, but this is the pressure sport.
Well, I don't know what that was all about, and neither does the crowd, but they don't like it. And from Nelson's viewpoint, you really do want to get this out of the way quickly. Always the risk of cuts with these little close lunges of Yves Monsieur. We'll take a break. Back for the start of the fifth. Johnny Nelson still in firm control of his European Cruiserweight Championship here at the Mansfield Leisure Centre. And, well, all right, Jim, let's put you on the spot. You've done some corner work. What would you be telling Yves Monsieur between the rounds?
There's an old saying, I'd say, watch out, here he comes. Nelson comes at you from all angles.
That's constructive. Just hit and hope, son.
Yeah, you know, I looked up into his corner, and it's almost pitiful to see him looking at his trainer in between rounds and basically saying in his Belgian accent, I don't know what to do. He really is lost.
And Nelson, no other description really playing with him now. Good workout for Nelson, but not in the remotest bit tested by this man, who is way below his class. And so far, it's as solid a performance from Nelson as you could wish. Well, I guess from Nelson's viewpoint, Jim, all the little tricky moves that he's worked out in training and wants to see whether they work in a real-life fight, this is the time to find out.
Correct. This is the ideal chance to like show everyone every move he's learnt in the gym, because this is his opportunity to show it.
It's difficult to avoid being disrespectful to Yves Monsieur, who is, after all, the champion of his own country, and we must give him due accord for that. But I have to say that he represents nothing more than a sparring session for Johnny Nelson.
You know, from a business point of view, Johnny will want to look sensational and knock this fella spark out, basically. It's something that he'd love on his record. First defence was a good KO victory, which will make more noises across the Atlantic in the cruiserweight division.
I'm sure, really, it's a matter of time.
Now, in terms of being a contest, it's not really a contest now. You know, Nelson's so in control, so above this fella. It's only a matter of when, not if.
Yes, it's one of the drawbacks of the EBU, the way they keep throwing forward challengers, even though maybe a challenger really has no right to challenge for that title. We get this in 1 or 2 weights, and personally, I think that it's quality, not quantity, that counts, and maybe it's something the EBU ought to give some thought to, as to whether the men they nominate as challengers, just because they happen to be champion of their own country or whatever, really gives them the right to be in the same ring as a world-ranked fighter, which Johnny Nelson clearly is.
I can honestly say in that round, Yves Monsieur didn't get through with one clean shot, and I feel that's going to be the story for the rest of the fight, for as long as he stays in there. Nelson's so far superior.
It's the sort of fight where, having given every round but the first to Nelson, which I scored even because nobody really threw any punches, you start wondering, well, you know, 4 rounds Nelson, 1 even, none to Monsieur. Am I really doing the Belgian justice? Am I really being fair to him? But I doubt whether he's landing more than 2, 3, 4 shots around, Jimmy.
Well, that's right. I mean, I presume this boy's a voluntary defence by Johnny Nelson and not the mandatory challenger.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good choice from Johnny Nelson's point of view, because it's the ideal opponent for him to go through his box of tricks without undue risk, and just put the check in the bank and carry on as he is.
Well, coming up to the halfway stage now, round 6 of this scheduled 12-round European title bout. Johnny Nelson of Sheffield, the European cruiserweight champion, and White, the Belgian challenger, in trouble, Yves Monsieur. And maybe Nelson has now had enough.
This would be a little test of how tough the Belgian really is, but we really want to stay in there and try and take Nelson's title, because he knows he's not in the same class. Nelson's up the pace, becoming the aggressive hunter, looking to take him out. And I'm sure Monsieur feels what we're seeing. Now, Johnny won't want to be framed a non-puncher. He'll be looking to blast this fellow over.
For all his dominance, finding it tricky to land just the one telling shot.
I think John's got through with some good shots, but he doesn't seem to be able to shake this fellow out. The fella's not just durable, but I don't know how hard Johnny Nelson really is. You know, the big fella, he's well proportioned. I'm sure he's a stinger. But some of these durable guys you just can't take out. maybe Mr. Mansour falls into that department.
See Brendan Ingle there still waving Nelson in, turning.
As you said, Dave, he's never really had him unduly in big trouble. It's been a steady combination of pressure and maybe a cluster of shots that'll do it.
Nelson stalking his man from neutral corner to neutral corner. Oh, what a good left hand. And that did hurt him, and he's gone down. Mandatory 8.
That come about basically through Mansour getting ambitious and trying to chin Nelson. It was a big shot, and Johnny countered very quickly, and that was the result.
That was quite canny of that, Monsieur. Going down for an 8-second rest. Just dropped on one knee.
He's
now,
a pro.
Let's see whether Nelson can finish this in round 6. There's the bell, but Nelson takes that by a full 2-point margin.
Yeah, that was a classic case of Mansour trying to pull something out in the fight, you know, going for a big shot. Nelson made him miss and countered, basically made him miss and made him pay.
Well, what odds would you give Jim against it ending perhaps the next round?
Well, I don't want to jump to the conclusion too quickly because, as I say, he's a good old pro. Still looks very calm. Doesn't look shook up or in any great difficulty. Let's have a look at this knockdown now coming up and see just how much he was hurt. But I think, as you said, Dave, it's more of an old pro's craftsman's trick. He got caught with a left clump. Here it comes.
Bang!
Boom. Good shot. Was a good shot. Yes.
And Nelson backed him up, and it didn't actually land another clean shot. And that was a good bit of tactics from Monsieur. He was trapped in a corner. He thought, had enough of this. I think I'll have a little breather.
I'm sure that would have left a few cobwebs in his head, though. You know, there's a good clumping left hook from the southpaw stance that Johnny Nelson got home with.
Round 7 then.
I'm sure this fella's thinking I'll do well to go the distance there.
He certainly will.
I'd agree with his thinking. But Nelson's going to start unloading with combinations of shots now, rather than trying to take him out with a one hit.
I think Brendan Ingle's told him, enough of this, let's pack up and go home.
I think that's what the ref may be looking for as well. If Nelson starts unloading with clusters of shots, 2-3 on the spin, they give him the opportunity to step in and stop this one-sided contest. Nelson looks far too big for him. Even though they're both cruiserweights, Nelson just looks a weight above.
Officially, there's only 5 pounds in it, but Nelson looks about half a stone bigger than him.
That's just been his bottom. Nelson really is built rock solid for a cruiserweight. You know, the terrible irony of it is if Nelson wins on points, he'll be criticised for lack of punching power.
That's true.
So he can't really win. Doubled up with the right hand now. Could be a sensible ploy. Mansour's whole ambition of becoming European champion has gone out the window. He's strictly on the survival course.
Jim, this reminds me a bit of when Lennox Lewis fought with Jean Chanay for the European heavyweight title and went after him. And Chanay was as tough as old boots, and everybody says, oh, you know, Lewis made heavy weather of it. Similar sort of fight, perhaps.
Yeah, you know, they're taking away, really, the durability and the resilience of these guys. These fighters are pro fighters, they're proud people. They don't want to be stopped, you know, they're determined to hang in even if they're going to lose the fight. I think that's what Mr. Monseur's adopted to now. He feels he's not a loser. The professional pride intact, he'd like to go the distance.
Got him again. Brendan Ingle doing his crust in the blue corner. But once again, the effort a little bit too late.
Nelson's really trying his hardest now to get him out there. Make no mistake about that. He's letting the bombs go with both hands.
Well, unlike previous fights, I wouldn't necessarily criticise Nelson's performance tonight. He's doing just enough against an opponent who is way below him in class. I'm sure he will win inside the distance and without taking any undue chances, Jim.
That's for sure. You know, it's been an impressive performance as far as Johnny Nelson's concerned. It takes two to tango, as we always say, and Johnny's the only one making the fight. He's being positive. He's going about his work in a positive manner. He's fighting a little bit unorthodox how he wants to. You know, Johnny's basically a counter-puncher with plenty of tricks in his book, but he's forcing the fight and trying to get the guy out of there. And it's very difficult to look good when that's the situation. It's different if you're an all-out brawler, but Johnny Nelson certainly ain't that.
Round 8.
Another 3 minutes of survival in store for Mr. Mansour as Nelson hunts and tries to get him out of there.
The ref tells him, cut it out. And Nelson again going to work, but earlier in the round this time. Belgium covering up quite well, though.
Johnny Nelson's at the stage now. He can just stand right in front of him as if he's a heavy bag in the gym. No fear of anything dangerous coming back. He can just really plant and get as much leverage and power into the shots as possible. And you can see he's really contemptuous now. The Vivas Mansour.
Trapped in the blue corner again. Brendan Ingle again, almost getting into the ring and pushing Nelson onto his man.
That's what he's got to do. He's got to go in and unload, let the shots go. And the accuracy's got to be there.
You can see Brendan Ingle, who shouldn't really be up on the apron. I think we might see Brendan get in a minute.
Mansour's shipping shots now, though. He's took a couple of big right hands in the last few seconds.
Gone down again.
Down he goes.
Once again, no real one punch that did it. Just a cumulative effect.
He needs to maintain it now. Nelson's got to come straight over and unload again. This is his chance to get him out there now. He's got to let the shots go.
And look at Brendan Ingle.
I think Mansour would like the towels come in.
The towels come in from the Belgian's corner. The ref hasn't seen it. But Johnny Nelson showing it to him. He has seen it now. It's all over, and quite rightly.
Good compassionate move by his corner. Always good to see that. The fighter was on an hiding to nothing. Nelson was unloading him to unnecessary punishment. Good decision by Ivan Mansour's corner.
So,
excellent.
Monsieur retired by his corner. Johnny Nelson, well, in my book, I think he can be quite happy with that.
Yeah, you know, it's a cagey old campaigner who was fighting, who was determined to stay the course. If he would have been let, but Nelson's done the right thing. And defended his title successfully for the first time. Well done, Johnny Nelson.
We'll be talking to the man who is still European champion in just a moment. And, well, you've got to give credit where credit is due to Yves Monsieur. He came along, gave it his best shot, but he was very, 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 very much outclassed. Nelson coming over, having a word with Jim McDonnell to my left. We'll get the official announcement from Alan Hughes. The slips just being collected from the two ringside judges from France and from Denmark.
There's a good statement he made there, Dave, Johnny Nelson. He said to me that he feels he was trying too hard. I've often made that quote. Sometimes when you try too hard, that's the case.
Grab you now, okay? It's not ready yet, is it? No, we're going to go. Can we go before
Well, ladies and gentlemen, then in the 2 minutes 35 seconds of the 8th round on a technical knockout, ladies and gentlemen, still the cruiserweight champion of Europe, Johnny Nelson.
Well, TKO, not a European term. A retirement it'll go down as. We're going to take a break, and we'll be hearing from Johnny Nelson when we come back. Welcome back for the final time to Mansfield. We're going to hear from Johnny Nelson now, and Johnny's talking to our roving ringside reporter, George Zeleny.
Congratulations, Johnny, a very positive performance tonight.
Well, yeah, I think I was trying a little bit too hard, you know, being a little bit closer to home. Last time I saw a crowd like this and the noise that they made, it was in Sheffield, and I think it was on the 26th of January. So I was trying my best not to depress anybody tonight, but, you know, I tried a little bit. I'm not happy with my performance. I tried a little bit too hard. I wanted it a little bit too much.
Well, your opponent tonight actually has only been stopped before twice,
yeah, by
good opponents, one of whom you've beaten yourself. So, despite being beaten 18 times, he's only been stopped twice. So he's a pretty tough man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a tough man, but really, his other opponents weren't my problem. He was my problem tonight, and I should have gone out there and done the job a lot earlier. He was strong. He could take a few shots, but I don't think he really wanted to commit himself that much. So we're a little bit out of range. He made sure he kept himself out of range. I think he was there to just spots clever. If he had the chance, he'd take it, but we could have seen a better performance.
Right, well, I was impressed by a performance. Perhaps you could tell us what you're planning to do next, John?
Well, we may do another defence of the European against Anaclet Wamba or Tafik Balboy. Tafik was the former WBA champion. Tafik and Anaclet have both fought this chap. They went the distance with him, but really, I know I should have done a lot better.
Are you thinking in terms of a world title fight yet?
Oh, yes, and even getting a world title fight isn't enough. It's nowhere near enough. I want to go on and go. I don't know what my main target is, but I know a world title fight isn't enough.
Right, thank you very much. Congratulations again, Johnny Nelson. Thank you.
Thanks.
Johnny Nelson, a man with a mission, it seems, talking there to George Zeleny. And I don't think he should be unduly harsh on himself. I thought it was a pretty good performance. Well, the show moves on. This was Pro Box number 50. For number 51, join Barry McGuigan and myself next Tuesday for the Commonwealth Light Welterweight title between the former British champion, Tony McKenzie, against King Zaka of Zimbabwe. And the following Tuesday, we're back at one of my favourite stomping grounds, the York Hall in Bethnal Green, for Mickey Hughes against Mikel de Leon of the United States. Well, the first 50 Pro Boxers down. Here's to the next 50. From all of us here, bye-bye.